Order this meeting of the Wendell Town Board of Commissioners, and welcome all of you tonight for being here with us. We're going to be led in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight by Police Captain John Slaughter.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our invocation tonight from the Wendell Council of Churches, we're going to be hearing from the Wendell Christian Church, Virginia Mora.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Oh, you're welcome. I feel honored. I grew up in this little town, and I tell people if you grew up in Wendell, this is the way you talk. I'm sorry. Let's have a word of prayer, please. Eternal God, we thank you so much for the privilege of meeting here tonight. We thank you for the people who help keep us safe in Wendell. We pray that you will bless each of us in this meeting and keep us. That your wisdom fall upon us here. Give us clarity and help us apply your wisdom in all of our decisions. Let each of us enter this meeting desiring the good of others and the good of Wendell. Help us, Lord, to seek your honor in all that we do and say. Amen. And I will say that Pastor George is having a book study on Wednesdays at 12 o'clock. It's very, very good. It's on prayer, different kinds of prayer, and each chapter is self-contained, so we'd like to invite anybody on their lunch hour to come out and join us. We're having a really nice time. We're opened up again for services. We have safe communion in the little pre-prepared cups, and we do socially distance, and so we're alive and doing well, and we're very happy that we are. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. Are there any adjustments to the agenda? A motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
All right, we have a motion to approve the agenda. Commissioner Joyner?
Aye.
Commissioner Boyette?
Aye.
Commissioner Lieu?
Aye.
Commissioner Tarnaski?
Aye.
And Commissioner Deloach?
Aye.
That passes unanimously. We have no one signed up tonight for public comment. Just a reminder that the opportunity to present public comment was provided. You could present public comment either in person or in writing, and make those arrangements in advance of the meeting tonight. But no one did, so I want to remind you that you can do that for our next meeting, and the time that you can sign up or contact the town clerk to do that if you want to do it by calling in the conference or send it in is July 9th at 5 p.m. So I'm trying to remind everybody that you have an opportunity to speak if you would like it. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
All right, Commissioner Joyner?
Aye.
Commissioner Boyette?
Aye.
Commissioner Lieu?
Aye.
Commissioner Tarnaski?
Aye.
And Commissioner Deloach?
Aye.
All right, that passes unanimously. I'm going to move into Section 4, Recognitions, Reports, and Presentations. And Item 4A is a presentation on the American Rescue Plan funds, and we're going to hear from Town Manager Mark Collins and Assistant Finance Director Garrett Johnson. Good evening to both of you.
Good evening. Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the board. Here tonight to talk about the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA for short. On March 11th, 2021, President Biden signed into effect the American Rescue Plan Act. It was a $1.9 trillion economic stimulus package. Folks might recognize it as the third round of stimulus packages that they may have received personal funds for. With that package, it included $350 billion to be allocated towards different levels of government entities nationwide to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. Here's just a list of the allocation breakdowns, both nationwide and within the state of North Carolina. The town of Wendell falls under at the very bottom, the $705 million of funds going to non-entitlement units within the state of North Carolina. Non-entitlement units are considered to be entities with a population of less than 50,000 people. Just a kind of a summary of what the funds can be used for. In short, is to address public health and economic impacts, to pay essential workers premium pay. You can use calculate lost revenue to the extent that the pandemic caused a loss of revenue. You can use those, and you can put investments into infrastructure, which includes water, wastewater, stormwater, and broadband. The funds may not be used for depositing into pension fund for liabilities, can't pay interest or principal on any outstanding debt. It's not meant for the intent of replenishing your rainy day fund, any settlements or judgments, and it cannot be used as your federal matching portion for any grants the town may have received. These funds are to be obligated by December 31st, 2024, and must be spent by December 31st, 2026. At this point, staff has identified expenses that have been incurred during fiscal 21 that qualify to be appropriated and for this current year. Should be noted that these numbers shown here are subject to change slightly pending any audits, audited figures through the annual audit process. And just as a summary, the current uses that have been identified as responding to COVID-19 through mitigation and prevention and public health and safety staff. Turn it over to Mark.
I would also like to clarify that the town's not receiving $704 million. That's the total amount to all North Carolina non-entitlement communities. Wendell is a formula that's derived based on your prior census population. So for Wendell, that means that our share of that's approximately $2.51 million. You receive half of that in sometime soon, and the second half around a year after that. So just to clarify, in the fiscal year 21 budget amendment from the consent agenda, I know you saw, but just for the public watching, in the consent agenda and that budget amendment did have that revenue and expenditure recognized to recoup those expenses shown on this slide. Moving forward, we have several projects that we're evaluating. You can't offset currently funded projects, so if it's something that we already have funds identified for in our plans and budget, you can't offset that funding with this funding. So staff started looking at, are there projects where we don't have specific funds identified yet, like stormwater projects. It just says stormwater capital, and there's an amount. And so there's an opportunity to fund some of our stormwater capital. It provides a good funding source for that, as well as water and sewer issues. Those are our main eligible areas. And so right now, the projects that staff is working on to advance the ARPA funding for water from Maggie Court to 3rd Street, and then 3rd Street west to the park. There's an aging, undersized ductile iron and partially PVC line on 3rd Street, but upsizing that to 12-inch, and then likely an 8-inch line to connect to the new water line on Langdon View going in front of the new town hall site. That loops our water system there. That'll improve water pressures for a large area of neighborhoods, kind of west and south of downtown. It'll help with pressure in that area. Second, Hollybrook Water Sewer Gap Project. That was investigated about 5 years ago, I believe. There's a group of parcels on Hollybrook Road within the town that for some reason never received water or sewer service. And it had an initial engineering cost estimate derived the spring of 2018. And so filling in gaps in our water sewer and making sure that we have equity and service within our jurisdiction is a good use under ARPA. And then the next two are stormwater projects that are fairly prominent needs right now. The first one is called Strickland Funeral Home because the drainage way happens across the Strickland Funeral Home property. It's a channelized drainage that flows from the north side of the tracks underneath the railroad tracks down to that point. It becomes a blue line stream on the south side of 2nd Street. So at that point, it's subject to the Neuse River rules on what can be done. North of that is an urban drainage area with unclear maintenance responsibility. So the channelized drainage is failing in places, and it is part of our it's the channel that drains all the northern side of the track neighborhood there close to downtown. So we need to clean up the easement language, pipe that, and get it back into a proper stormwater system in that area. The final one I've talked with you briefly about before is a potential. It depends on an HOA wanting us to move forward, but an eligible use would be the repair of a dam on the north side of the Brighton neighborhood. That creates a significant stormwater flow issue downstream from that location due to an undersized drainage pipe in the dam when it was built years ago. So that cleans up several issues that are eligible. Right now, those are the projects we're investigating, and we'll be obviously have a little bit of time moving forward, so we want to see what the federal government does with an infrastructure bill or not, and what's eligible there, and look for any other state and federal grants that may offset these projects. But we have a definite timing and need to start preparations to make sure that we expend the funds in a timely manner. And Garrett and I'd be happy to take any questions on this topic at this time.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the virtual attendees? None? All right. Well, thank y'all.
Thank you.
We have no public hearings scheduled for tonight. Move into item 6, which is our administrative item. Item 6A is a decision on a text amendment to the UDO to update a billboard sign language and requirements in the ordinance. We're going to hear from Planning Director Brian Coates. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Give me one moment here. There we go. Thank you, Clerk Howard. I'm Brian Coates, I'm the Planning Director. Item 6A is a decision on a text amendment where the public hearing was held at the last meeting. There's been no adjustment since that meeting. The applicant, Aaron Guyton, is here if there's any additional questions. As part of this text amendment, staff is doing a slight cleanup under Section 12.9 of the UDO. In just a summary, there were 3 options. Planning Board chose option 3 as the basis for their vote. And the potential location on Wendell Boulevard by the Vardy facility. I could field any questions you may have, but the public hearing was held at the last meeting.
Any questions from the board? All right, what's y'all's pleasure?
No.
I thought somebody was getting ready to say something and now they haven't.
If someone would like to make a motion, they're free to do so.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept decision, the amendment to the unidentified ordinance of the billboard sign requirements in this ordinance.
All right, thank you. We have a decision to approve the text amendment to the UDO to update the billboard sign language and requirements in the ordinance.
Option 3, just to clarify.
Option 3,
I don't have that written on here.
yeah.
Option 3. Thank you. Is there any discussion on the motion? All right, Commissioner Joyner,
Aye.
Commissioner Boyette,
No.
Commissioner Lutz,
No.
Commissioner Tornaski,
Yes.
and Commissioner Deloach.
Aye.
All right, so that passes 3-2. Item 6B is the approval of a leasing agreement with Enterprise. I'm going to hear from the town manager.
Staff is still working on this topic with the public, and will need more time to review, and allow legal staff to review any submission prior to decision. Staff would request that the board table this item to the July 12th meeting.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, motion to table?
All right, we have a motion to table this until did you say July? Did you put a date in yours, in your motion?
I can. Give me 1 second. I believe that means it's going to be July the 12th.
Is that enough time for staff? We'll table it again if we have to. Okay, so we have a motion to table this until July 12th. Is there any discussion on the motion? All right, Commissioner Joyner,
Aye.
Commissioner Boyette,
Aye.
Commissioner Lutz,
Aye.
Commissioner Tornaski,
Aye.
and Commissioner Deloach.
Aye.
All right. Item 6C is appointments to the Town of Wendell Board of Adjustment and Appearance Commissions. I'm going to hear from Town Clerk Megan Howard. Good evening.
Good evening. All right. So tonight, we will be voting on, or staff requests that the board take action to appoint citizens to serve on vacant positions for the Board of Adjustment and our Appearance Commission. Recruitment began on March 15th, 2021, and closed on May 21st. Communication efforts included advertising on the town's website and our e-board on Wendell Boulevard, social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, advertising posted in When in the Dell, which is the town's monthly newsletter, and newspaper and print bulletin board marketing. 37 applications were received to fill 15 vacancies on 5 boards. Applicants that applied to multiple boards were asked to prioritize which citizen boards they wished to be considered for, and their applications were marked accordingly. Applicants that are already serving on other citizen boards were asked to file a conditional letter of resignation pending the appointment to a different citizen advisory board, and their applications were noted accordingly. The Citizen Advisory Board recruitment process is a voting process done by written ballot. As we have 2 virtual participants tonight, I will ask them to hold their ballots up to the screen when voting, and also to send me a copy for records retention. Applicants must receive an affirmative vote from a majority of the board members present and voting to be appointed. Appointees will start their new positions on July 1st of the new fiscal year. Applicants receive letters informing them of the appointment process and were encouraged to introduce themselves at the beginning of the June Town Board meetings if they so choose. The Board of Adjustment has 3 vacancies as follows. We have 2 in-town vacancies with terms lasting 3 years and 1 ETJ vacancy with a term lasting 3 years. The town received 3 in-town applications and 1 ETJ application for the Board of Adjustment. The ETJ vacancy is for recommendation to the Wake County Board of Commissioners, who will appoint the position at their next regular meeting after the recommendation is sent to them. The Appearance Commission has 4 vacancies, with 2 of which are regular and 2 are alternate vacancies with terms lasting 3 years. 12 applications were received. Please vote by writing ALT next to 2 of the members to note that you're voting for 2 alternates versus 2 regulars. Any vacancies that remain will continue to be advertised, and applications will be presented to the board to fill any subsequent vacancies. So I'm going to start with the Board of Adjustment. Let me stop presenting. There we go.
Thank you.
Commissioner Joyner, can you hold up your ballot for the Board of Adjustment? Thank you, sir. Commissioner Lutz, can you hold up your ballot? Thank you, sir. All right. So our new appointees to the Board of Adjustment are Charles Barnes for an in-town vacancy, Pamela Wills Gibbs for an in-town vacancy, and Brianna Eddy for recommendation to the Wake County Board of Commissioners. Now I'm going to pass out the Appearance Commission ballots. Commissioner Joyner, can you hold up your ballot, please? Thank you, sir. Commissioner Lutz, can you hold up your ballot, please? Thank you, sir. Okay, so we have a tie between two alternates, so I will be giving the mayor a ballot to vote in the case of a tie. Our two choices are Andrea Burnham for an alternate vacancy and Deanna Rogers, excuse me. Okay, so we have for our in-town vacancies, we have Melissa Brand and Lynette Pear. For our alternates, we have Andrea Burnham and Jordan Russell. And we do have one vacancy still available for the planning board to fill an ETJ vacancy with a term for 2 years. And I'll start marketing that for the next month, and I'll be bringing it back to you in August. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you to everyone who signed up, and congratulations to those who are appointed to boards. Item 6D is a fee in lieu request for roadway construction on Brookmore Drive and Brookbend Road with the Glen and Meadows subdivisions. I'm going to hear from our planning director again. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. There's a fee in lieu request for roadway construction in the Glen and Meadows subdivision on Brookmore Drive and Brookbend Drive. The Town of Wendell's UDO under connectivity states that all new streets shall be extended to the boundary of the development for future connection. The developer in this case is requesting a fee in lieu for 10 feet of section of Brookmore and 10 feet of Brookbend. The applicant at this time has not obtained off-site easement from the neighboring property to complete the final 10 feet of road construction. In addition to the subject fee in lieu, they will have some riprap there, provided all 4 gutters as they terminate there to mitigate off-site improvements. The developer is requesting a fee in lieu for the roadway improvements in the amount of $8,737.50. That fee and amount is reviewed by our engineering firm and is in today's current cost. Staff is recommending this fee in lieu request. It is the accurate amount from engineering for those last 10 feet of roadway sections. And then we could use those funds on other projects that may have a higher priority. I can field any questions you may have.
Are there any questions from the board?
Is this strictly because they couldn't obtain an easement? Is it topology? Is it adjacent landowner issues? What?
Yeah, in order to go right to the property line, they would need to obtain an off-site easement to construct right to the property line. It has happened a few times. I think we recently had one in Wendell Falls for Phase 9. That was the same reason. They just didn't obtain, they couldn't obtain the easement.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board? Comments?
Motion to approve the fee in lieu request for roadway construction on Brookmore Drive and Brookbend Drive within the Glen and Meadows subdivision.
All right, we have a motion to approve the fee in lieu request for the roadway construction on Brookmore Drive and Brookbend Road. Is there any discussion on the motion? All right, Commissioner Joyner,
Aye.
Commissioner Boyette,
Aye.
Commissioner Lutz,
Aye.
Commissioner Tornaski,
Aye.
and Commissioner Deloach.
Aye.
All right, that passes unanimously. Item 6E is a request to amend the award in the downtown facade grant for 5 North Main Street.
Madam Mayor, point of order, does the Commissioner Lutz need to recuse himself from this portion of the meeting? No?
It's not his, this is his.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Never mind. Scratch
Oh,
that.
Thinking that I missed it, no.
I thought this was I thought this was carried over from last time. Well, okay.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is a request to amend an award of the downtown facade grant for 5 North Main Street. The action that's requested by the applicant is to extend this for a 3-month extension. The applicant, Sigurd Westerland, has requested this extension for the facade grant that was originally awarded August 24th, 2020, in the amount of $10,000. It is key to note that in that August 24th, 2020 approval, work needed to be completed by the end of June 2021. We have a few days left of the month, but the applicant is not going to get this work done in the next few days, so he's requesting a 3-month extension. The facade grant award was for the creation of an outdoor patio attached to 5 North Main Street. The applicant has applied for permits to renovate the indoor space of 5 North Main and construct the outdoor patio. The permits at this time have not been issued for construction to commence. The award, as I said, was the facade grant was to construct the side and rear patio, installation of railings, lighting, and other architectural details to enhance the outdoor area that is currently a gravel dirt area along Tobacco Alley. The project would create a patio that would contain outdoor dining. The total estimated cost for the exterior facade improvements is $26,522.50. The Town of Wendell's facade grant program does require all work should be completed within 1 year of grant approval. The town's fiscal year 22 budget contained the $10,000 for the downtown program. The $10,000 that was awarded to 5 North Main and not expended in fiscal year 21 will be returned to the general fund reserve and is available for reappropriation in fiscal year 22. Staff is recommending of the 3-month extension request for 5 North Main Street up to $10,000 as the request meets our program objectives and guidelines.
I'm the property owner, if anyone has any questions about this, I'm happy to answer them.
Any questions from the board?
Motion to approve the request to amend the award of the downtown facade grant for 5 North Main Street.
We have a motion to approve the request to amend the award for the downtown facade grant for number 5 North Main. Any discussion on the motion? All right, Commissioner Joyner,
Aye.
Commissioner Boyette,
Aye.
Commissioner Lutz,
Aye.
Commissioner Tornaski,
Aye.
and Commissioner Deloach.
Aye.
That passes 5-0. Item number 7, other business. 7A, update on board committees by town board members. So, a couple weeks ago, I had Campo. We held 2 public hearings. The first was the amendment on number 5, was amendment number 5 to the fiscal year 2020-2029 Transportation Improvement Program. Public comment is open for that now if anyone's interested in submitting public comment. It started June 1st and it extends through August 15th. You can go to the Campo website if you're interested in submitting public comment on that, and it will be taken up by the executive board at our August meeting. The second public hearing was on the locally administered projects program, or LAP, for fiscal year 2023. The proposed changes and the target modal investment mix are what we discussed. We heard a variety of recommended changes by the Campo staff. We then had a presentation on bus on shoulder study. We approved a sub-allocation of the American Rescue Plan Act transit formula funds to the Federal Transit Administration, approved some policy framework for use by the Wake Transit funds to acquire real property. We received the 2050 Metropolitan Transportation Plan update, and we had a variety of informational updates on budget and current projects that are going on right now, and a variety of staff reports. That's all for Campo that time. All right, section 8 is Commissioner's comments. We're going to start with Commissioner Boyette.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd just like to remind everyone, we still have a vaccination site in Wendell. Go get your vaccine, keep yourself from getting sick, keep yourself from spreading to others, keep yourself from getting thrown out of the College World Series. There's so many good reasons. It's just 3 I can think of off the top of my head. All I'll say about that. Election season is drawing near. The filing period, I believe, starts in July. Is that right? Yep. And I just want to let everybody know that I will not be running for a 3rd term. I've enjoyed my 8 years here. I've enjoyed being a commissioner and mayor pro tem. It's been absolutely an honor. I worked with some great people, both elected and staff, and the citizens are very forthcoming and supportive of the town. It's been absolutely great, but never been a fan of lifelong politicians, so I feel like I've done my part, and I would encourage anyone that thinks that they would like to sit up here to apply. I just want to make sure that I announced it with plenty of time so that people knew all intentions. So again, thanks, and I'll have plenty more to say over the next 6 months, I'm sure, but anyway, thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your service to the town. Commissioner Tarnasky.
Good evening, Mayor. I'd like to wish everyone a happy 4th of July coming up, and a safe 4th of July. So, enjoy. Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Deloge.
I'll give you some positive baseball news. My high school, J.H. Rose High Rapids, Greenville, North Carolina, 7th state championship that they won this past weekend. Coach Ronald Vincent, 46 years in between state championships. So, as sad as we were watching the College World Series, we had some positive baseball news, so congrats to RB. And that is all tonight, ma'am.
All right. Commissioner Joyner.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just want to, in here, and Commissioner Boyette, obviously, that's a big loss. John's been a strong advocate for lots of things that have mattered, and I'll certainly have a lot more to say about that later, I think, as he said. Although I am a little fearful that we're going to have 6 months of Commissioner Boyette telling us exactly what he thinks without any sort of filter there. With that, I will say that getting to know folks on the board has been an absolute honor, and getting to work with really cool folks. And given that Commissioner Boyette has got 2 more years on me, and given that we have some really big things coming, we're starting to see things come to fruition, but that I have a couple things left, I will be filing to run. So I will be filing next week, and I would also, as Commissioner Boyette said, put that out there.
Commissioner Lutz.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. I do apologize for not being at the meeting tonight, but I am, I guess, thankful for the technology to be able to remote in, so I can still be part of this today. I'd like to echo Commissioner Joyner's comments. Commissioner Boyette and I both ran for election at the same time, and I've had the pleasure of serving with him. So it will be certainly a loss to not have his thoughts and his guidance here in the town. I will, as Commissioner Joyner also said, I will be putting my name in the hat for re-election. It's been an honor to serve this town, and I want to keep serving it. And so I will put my name in the hat here to try for a third term. So I look forward to continue to complete projects and to continue to make this town a better place to live, as I feel like it has become that over the past 8 years that I've had the pleasure of serving. So thank you for those citizens who also applied for these positions so that they could serve themselves too, and I encourage all who didn't get selected this time to continue to become involved and continue to put their name in the hat for future commissions or committees. Thank you.
Great, thank y'all. Real quickly, a reminder about the farmers markets every Saturday on Campen Street from 8 to 12. You should check it out. There's a lot of wonderful vendors out there that would love for you to stop by and see them. We're going to, the town of Wendell is going to be holding a 4th of July celebration at the Wendell Community Park on July 4th from 11 to 2. Bounce houses, food trucks, there's going to be picnic space, some yard games and things like that. So please join us at that. The Meet on Main group is actually meeting right now to get organized and then looking into what they can do to resume their events. So stay tuned. I'll hear about that, I guess, when I get home tonight. And just a reminder, one more time, there is one vacancy left on the planning board in the ETJ. So if anyone's interested in serving, we would love to have you serve on the planning board if you live in the ETJ. All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, we're adjourned.